The Confident Heart, From Fear to Love. Chapter 17, Balancing the Masculine and Feminine Within. Our journey from the ego fortress to the open, blooming landscapes of the heart is not only a personal shift, but also helps the collective global healing process. For millennia, our world has been dominated by an imbalanced masculine principle, the Yang dictatorship, which prioritized separation, control, and domination. Let's end this imbalance within ourselves so that we can achieve greater harmony in the world. In order to understand our internal conflict, we must first recognize the two sacred energies that seek harmony, the healthy masculine and the healthy feminine. These are universal principles within us all. The healthy masculine energy is like a great tree. It is focused, structured, protective, and action-oriented. It provides clarity and direction. The healthy feminine, on the other hand, is like the vibrant ecosystem around it, receptive, nurturing, intuitive, and connected. It provides the context for growth, relationships, and life itself. Together, they form a thriving, sustainable whole. The rise of the Yang dictatorship shattered our inner balance. It was characterized by dominant masculine principles, which were strongly supported by the ego's fortress. The feminine has been systematically suppressed, both in society and in our own psyche. Emotion was devalued as hysterical, intuitive knowing as illogical, and trusting surrender as weak. It wasn't just a social structure, it was a war on the heart itself, exiling the very qualities that allow for deep connection, harmony, and unconditional love. This systemic suppression forced the feminine within us to survive through indirect and often manipulative means. Just as a plant will grow sideways in search of light under a rock, the feminine spirit in all of us denied its own authentic expression and developed an unhealthy shadow side. This wounded version of the feminine principle has learned to control through manipulation, gossip, emotional guilt-tripping, and passive-aggressive behavior. It learned to pull the strings from the shadows because it was denied a voice in the light. Recognizing this means acknowledging that both the dominating masculine and the manipulative feminine were codependent partners in a dance of disempowerment, both born from the same roots of separation, power games, and fear. The external patriarchy and the unhealthy feminine shadow it created together forged a powerful inner representation, the Inner Patriarch. This is the voice in our heads that perpetuates the imbalance, regardless of our gender. It is the strict inner supervisor that instructs us to control our feelings, prioritize efficiency and achievement over well-being and love, and view the vulnerable, feminine openness of the heart as a threat that must be managed. This inner voice mistakes a fortress for a home and views the heart's gardens as a chaotic wilderness that must be tamed and controlled. Recognizing this is the first step towards ending the dominion. The end of the inner war begins with an invitation. It takes a conscious, loving effort to welcome back the parts of ourselves that have been exiled and to re-educate those that have been misused. Reclaiming the feminine means that we must consciously honor the path of the heart by trusting, surrendering, flowing intuitively, and feeling compassionately, for these are the great sources of great power and wisdom. It is the strength of the soil that nurtures the mighty oak, providing a persistent, receptive embrace that allows its natural potential to unfold. Reclaiming the feminine means granting ourselves permission to feel deeply, to trust the quiet voice of intuition as much as the often louder voice of logic, and to value simply being in the here and now just as much as taking action. At the same time, we must redeem the masculine. Our inner watchdog is not the enemy. It is a powerful energy that has simply been misguided. Its true role is not to dominate, but to protect the heart's garden. We must retrain it to establish safe boundaries and allowances that enable love to flourish and enable us to take clear, aligned action guided by the heart. The redeemed masculine ensures a respectful flow of energies that protects the sacred inner space. When this inner marriage occurs, we experience the alchemy of balance as a dynamic dance. It feels as though powerful, directed action is flowing effortlessly from a deep sense of receptive, loving peace. You are both the clear, focused arrow and the vast, accepting sky through which it flies. Thoughts arise from the stillness of endless possibilities. Action emerges from a conscious presence in the moment. The conflict between being and doing dissolves, and you move through the world with a grace that is both powerful and utterly gentle. When we do the work of finding our inner union, we not only heal ourselves, but also become a source of healing for the world. By repairing the internal divide, we can remove our energies from external systems of conflict. We need to cultivate deep compassion for both sides of this historical trauma. We can empathize with the wounded masculine, whose fear of chaos has led it to seek control and dominance. Similarly, we can understand the wounded feminine, whose fear of not having any other means of ensuring its needs were met led it to submit and manipulate as a survival strategy in an imbalanced world. Recognizing this enables us to break free from the cycle of blame and victimhood. The most powerful way to change the world is to achieve inner harmony. The journey of the confident heart is all about the return of the exiled feminine and the redemption of the lost masculine. When you have balanced these powers within yourself, you no longer project your inner conflict onto others. There is no need to dominate or manipulate. You become a living template for new possibilities, a walking, breathing example of the collaboration between strength and gentleness, and between direction and openness. When these two powers unite within us, we become sovereign beings who can hold clear boundaries while offering open-hearted connection. We become whole and cannot help but create a world that reflects this same sacred balance.